So our third video this week is going to be talking about Cuba. So today I'm going to be giving you a little mashup about the Cuban culture and everything you need to know about it, from the food, from the dance, from the celebrations, from even one of their major exports. So check this out, and don't forget to do that Google Doc after this is over with. At first glance, Cuba is just baseball, socialist government, and of course Fidel Castro. However, if you dig deeper, the culture itself is awesome and worthy of the world's eyes. First, let's talk food. Cuban meals such as moros y cristianos, which is black beans and rice, arroz con pollo, which is rice with chicken, and ropa vieja, which is shredded beef, are all main meals that come from Cuba. Does somebody need some salsa? Well, not for your chips, but to dance. This is a famous dance that comes from Cuba, but also borrows heavily from other styles, particularly American jazz. Salsa dancing has been influenced by Afro-Cuban forms, especially rumba. Rumba, a catch-all word for various forms of Afro-Cuban song and dance. Did anybody say Christmas? Not for a while in Cuba, because Cuba was officially an atheist country under the communist regime, and the celebration of Christmas was banned in 1969 by Castro's regime. However, the Christmas holiday tradition began to resurge in 1997 when Pope John Paul II visited Cuba. In 2007, the official ban on Christmas celebration was lifted, and Santa and his sleigh can return back to Cuba. Hooray! But sugar is probably the most contribution from Cuba. This is their major export. Let's talk a little bit of history. First, Spain was primarily interested in the Caribbean for its gold. The Spanish crown thought that if the colonies traded with other countries, it would not itself benefit from it. This slowed the growth of the Spanish Caribbean. This effect was particularly bad in Cuba because Spain kept a tight grasp on it. It held strategic importance in the Caribbean. As soon as Spain opened Cuba's ports up to foreign ships, a great sugar boom began that lasted until the 1880s. The island was perfect for growing sugar. It dominated by rolling plains with rich soil and adequate rainfall. The boom in Cuba's sugar industry in the 19th century made it necessary for Cuba to improve its means of transportation. Planters needed safe and efficient ways to transport the sugar from the plantation to the ports in order to maximize their returns. So what happens when all the sugar is done? We celebrate in Cuba. The Carnival of Santiago de Cuba is the largest, most famous, and most traditional carnival in all of Cuba, and is an explosion of color, drum rhythms, and dance. It is also a time for Cubans to regather themselves and remember their history, community, and culture, and it's often punctuated by the Cuban national holiday on July 26th.